Greetings, it's Vaygrim, back again with another video. Now, this mod guide is going to be a little bit different from some of my normal ones, because it's not actually going to focus on one mod. It's not even going to focus on one block. It's going to focus on mini mods and a developmental attitude, a way that mods are being developed nowadays that I think is a very good sign. Now here I am in my mod guides test world with things you've seen and some you haven't. Things being developed and things still being tested. Well, the one thing I wanted to talk about was what I see now is a new trend in mod development, something that makes me very, very happy. Which is why I decided to make this. No, I'm not crazy. Well, okay. I'm not crazy about this. I'm crazy about other things, though. Like peanut butter and coffee. Coffee. Anyway, giant eyeball. Yes. Now, here's the thing. I'm colorblind. I'm as colorblind as they come. I cannot see any colors. So, basically, I see everything in black, white, and gray. Which is why, through the magic of video editing, I'm going to let you see things how I see things. So over the course of the next few seconds, you'll see a gradual fade of color, a desaturation. Everything goes to black, white, and shades of gray, just like I see it. So you can see the challenge that somebody different, like me, meets on a day-to-day basis when trying to use certain mods in Minecraft. Recently, however, there have been some very generous and very, very nice developers that have started putting in features and designing their mods in mind to where color is becoming less and less critical. It's a feature instead of a requirement or a prerequisite. And I think that's a good thing. And I'd just like to go over some of that right now. So, as they say, eyes are the windows to the soul. In this particular case, this eye is going to be the window in towards this perspective on, instead of a mod guide, I guess you could say it's almost going to be a developer guide. Now, I have a door around here somewhere. There it is. So, this crazy setup inside this giant eyeball is been designed to illustrate specific points. Now, I've got a lot of machines from a lot of my favorite mods, old ones and new ones, and some different things that these developers are doing. Like one thing right off the bat, okay, ender tanks and ender chests. Now, both of these, color is very, very critical. And normally, I would have to write down and remember what chest I place where and what colors I put on them for what purpose. Because I couldn't just glance at them and tell. Until a gentleman by the name of Professor Mobius decided to take it upon himself and make something called Wayla, which is that thing you see in the top middle. Ender chest. White, white, white. Ender storage. Or Ender tank. Now, Professor Mobius is actually colorblind, but he's not as colorblind as I am. It's either red anion or red proton. I can't remember the scientific terms. But basically, he lacks being able to see the color red unless it is a particularly vibrant color of red. So, all of his colors look a little off, and I can't even comprehend what that looks like, much less him not being able to comprehend how I see things. So, when you think about it, one of the developers of some of these mods is colorblind himself, which is interesting. Gaming is often touted as being a male-dominated thing, which I think is sad, but that is a statistic for discussion for another time. That's not the point of this video. The point is that there are so many males in gaming, but 1 in 10 males have some kind of colorblindness. Sometimes a form of colorblindness so subtle, they might not entirely know until they're an adult. They might not realize it, that they've had it their entire life. So, 1 in 10 males have some form of colorblindness. 1 in 1,000 colorblind males have a more complex form of colorblindness. something like what I have or what Professor Mobius has. And that really means that there's a big percentage of men and boys out there, teenagers, there's a big percentage of guys that are playing games that require color as a critical component. And they are automatically being met with a disadvantage. Now, perfect examples of this are other games that I played, like PlanetSide 2. PlanetSide 2 is a shooter. And inherently, you need to have some kind of color identification to determine sides at a distance at night. I inherently work at a disadvantage in that game on a constant basis. My reaction timing actually gets impacted because when I look at something, I first have to analyze. I can't do the automatic judgment of it's red, it's green, it's blue, shoot it. I have to analyze the shape of the armor, the style of the guns, the insignias on the armor before I can determine bad guy or good guy. Then I can open up. If I open up on the wrong person, I start taking penalties. My teams get pissed at me. So I end up playing a lot of passive roles, things like medics, engineers, things like that. And, that's, you can only design around that so much. And I've accepted that a long time ago. But here in Minecraft, I find it very, very cool that we have developers like Professor Mobius. Now, Professor Mobius also makes Jabba, just another Better Barrels attempt. Great mod. And there's no GUI, there's no graphic interface on these things. It is literally just the label in the box. I have 19 stacks of dirt in that barrel right there. It's easy to read. Even from a distance, I can tell, especially when I use his Wayla. Now here's the thing. There are downsides. Sometimes it doesn't work out. There's some upgrades to these barrels. Like this is the last one, the End Stone upgrade. This barrel will hold 4,096 stacks of something. And I have a certain amount of stone, but I can't tell unless I look at the Wayla that he has also developed sitting at the top of my screen. That gives me the information I may be missing. So while it may fail in one point, he makes up for it in other areas. I think that's great. If you swap over to more high-tech mods, like you guys know, I'm always a big fan of Mechanism, of Ender.io, and there's reasons for that. These developers have features that so many other mods have, but they don't make it off limits. Now, these things are color-coordinated slots, I know that. But if I get the tool for Mechanism, dark green, dark red, dark blue, and orange, I have not suffered any penalty just because I'm colorblind. Now, to make it even cooler, in here, he's got color tooltips that pop up. So I know exactly what's going on. Now, if I even want to use some of his pipes and color code, whoops, wrong tool, shift right click, it not only changes the color of pipe, it tells me in chat. And you have to respect a developer that is thorough enough to think about that minor detail. But it doesn't stop with just Mechanism. There's mods like Thermal Expansion, the brainchild of, I'll turn that off, the brainchild of King Lemming, with other such developers on his team as Zeldo. There's so many people on the Thermal Expansion team now that I can't name them all, and I am sorry. I know it's not just King Lemming. He has so many people that help him with his work. But he was gracious enough and nice enough to consider putting in a colorblind mode. So it's got dots associated with the sides. I know the 1 dot sides are going to end up in the 1 dot slot. The 4 dot slot is going to output on the 4 dot side. Outside matches inside. Very simple, very straightforward. And I like it. Alloy Smelter from Ender.io. Very, very simple. You can only put things in the top slots. It processes from top to bottom. Very linear. A very logical form. So it's easy to figure out. I can only get things and put them in these top slots. They won't go down here. They won't go over here unless it's an upgrade. Simple, easy to use. Doesn't even require color or tooltips or dumbing down. It's simple and streamlined enough, yet still effective. But he's got pipes. Like these empowered item conduits. His normal item conduits have this also. Now, you can see right here, there's an arrow that's got a certain color. I don't know what color that arrow is, but now I do. Right click, go into the settings, and he lets me change the color, see what it is, so I know I'm setting this to gray. I can set it to gray, whoops, on the other end of the pipe. Sometimes you forget your own strength when you're in creative mode. So, you could also do the same thing with this redstone conduits, his insulated redstone conduits, color coordination, color striping, and I can figure out right away how it works, how I've got it set up, in case I need to make any settings changes. Now, Mythian, developer of, before I forget, Arsmed, Ender.io, developed by Crazy Pants, real nice guy. He's from Australia. Mythian, he's the lead developer behind Ars Magica 2. He has others that help him, of course. Unfortunately, I don't know all their names. Has just put in a new feature in Ars Magica 2 version 1.1.2b for beta. He put in colorblind mode. So now, I normally can't see these colored lines, but green point, blue point, green point, red. See, normally I think this was colored text, but now it's easy for me to use. It's user-friendly. All this stuff is visible because I'm in creative mode, by the way. It's easy to use, user-friendly, and I know exactly. Now, to make things even better, let's bring this back. Wrong magic mod. There we go. We have the Arcane Compendium. Nice, clean font, easy to read. It's black text on a white background. That doesn't get any simpler for any kind of color impairment or vision impairment. He's got a nice UI, clean, in the book, explanations that even have tooltips over them, just in case I'm confused by something. That's cool. Essence conduit, chimerite, stone. That's what I get. It's real simple. When you even go to structures, you have step-by-step construction of the layers. Makes it easy to figure out, easy to use, no matter what kind of visual impairments you may have. Now, even Thaumcraft really doesn't have a lot that's color coordinated or color based. Let me get the big one, the cheat sheet. Now, this thing has nice high visibility lines on a bright background. It pops. All the icons are easy to find, and the fonts are easy to read. And again, just like from Ars Magica, you get nice black text on a white background. It works. It's simple. It's clean, and it's not hard to figure out. I mean, you even get tooltips over here about what each one is in case you can't see the icons. That's real cool. And they just make it so easy. Like with Ars Magica 2 now, the mana batteries just store power and change color based upon what power they're carrying. Now, if you have a colorblind mode turned on, you right click. Now this is unknown because I spawned it in creative mode. But normally it would say, where it says unknown, it would say light essence, neutral essence, or dark essence. I know 100% for sure what's in there now. And his machines don't require color coordination. Only certain things will go in these slots. And he's got arrows that indicate exactly what the work cycle is. You put things here, they get processed, and they end up over here. And it even explains it in his Arcane Compendium. Applied Energistics. Nice, dark, crisp fonts on a high, bright visibility background. Easy to read monitors. The whole 9 yards. It's really, really cool. I like it. We have other machines such as the Industrial Smelter or the Industrial Furnace from Mariculture by Joshi. By the way, Algorithm X2 makes Applied Energistics, him and the team. Mythian is the lead developer behind Ars Magica. Joshi makes Mariculture, and his machines are left to right, tooltips where applicable, And you can only put things in certain slots. It's restrictive, which means you can't accidentally put things in the wrong slots. Great way to build machines. A gentleman named Erogenous Beef, who makes Glimmer of Light. Oh, neat. A gentleman named Erogenous Beef, who actually makes the Big Reactors mod. He has everything very, very easy and high visibility. There's out arrows and in arrows. Yes, these are color coordinated ports, but the arrows make it self-explanatory from a distance. I like it. Mind Factory Reloaded. I'm not even sure. I think it's under Skyboy now, originally made by Power Crystals or somebody else. I've kind of lost track of that one. Nice, simple, clean UIs, good tooltips with icons. I'm totally colorblind, and this all still makes complete sense to me. Same here. And this, only certain things go in certain slots. I can't put that there. I can put it here. Etc., etc. So, all of this makes sense. It's easy to read, and it all works. And it's with the thought that these developers put behind these motions, behind these additions to their mods, that they make life for people like myself and so many others a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable. Now, here's the thing. Minecraft for me is a lot different in one big regard, because Minecraft is about decoration for so many people. It really is. But color coordination gets tossed out the window for me. I have to go by contrast and pattern, which is why I am enamored by so many of the blocks, by amazing mods like Extra Utilities by R.W. Timma. He has added a whole section, these are just a few, he's got so many more, blocks in his mod that are purely for the sake of decoration. Now, these two are actually used in recipes, so it's this one. But you can use them for decoration. That's decorative, that's decorative, that's decorative. They serve no other purpose. And it's a different texture, a different contrast, and it really it makes so much of a difference to somebody like me, which is why I am such a chisel junkie. Chisel, made by Automatic Maiden, another great mod where you can have so many radically different patterns and textures that really make building for me interesting. Now, my buildings may look completely garish to the rest of you, but in my eyes, they're things of beauty. Now, even Railcraft, the old standard, but Cobra Jaguar, has a lot of really cool different pattern and, I think, different color blocks that have been added in to make things real interesting for everybody. And I think that's great. So, I wanted to thank so many of these developers that have, A, put their time into their mods for us, the community. I want to thank you for that right off the bat, because without this, I think that without mods, I think Minecraft probably would have died a long time ago. I really do. But that's not the whole point. My main point is the fact that without such simple additions like these, colorblind mode, contrast of textures, simple icons, an easy-to-use interface, you've made the game so much more usable by folks like myself. And I thank you for that. I really, really do. So now I'm going to wander off to some other part of my world and see what trouble I can get into. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.